The history of philosophy and philosophers. The history of philosophy is complete with men and women who inquired into the fundamental nature of self along with the many questions they define the things in the world. The inquiry on the self has preoccupied the earliest thinkers in the history of philosophy, the Greeks. The Greeks were the ones of seriously questioned and move away from them in attempting to understand reality and respond to constant question of curiosity and proving the question of self.
What's important? Important of having philosophy in ourselves was to serve as an introduction to you, focusing more on your beliefs and values and on your life experience. Philosophy helps us to enhance our ability to solve problems, our communication skills, and our persuasive powers. Philosophy cannot only help improve critical thinking skills, but it can help provide us with knowledge of logic that can greatly help improve critical thinking. The philosopher that inquired different notions of self. Socrates, he believed that the self exists in two parts, the body and the soul. Plato conceived of the self as a knower. Augustine's sense of self is his relation to God. Thomas Aquinas began his theory of self-knowledge from the claim that all our self-knowledge is depend on our experience of the world around us. René Descartes believed that our awareness of ourselves and our ability to have thought are a crucial component of our existence and the creation of life. In short, our mind held the essential components of who we are. David Hume. For him, the self is a bundle of perception which succeed each other to give us our identity. Immanuel Kant. He believed that the self regulates experience by making unified experience possible. Gilbert Ryle believed the self comes from behavior. Merleau-Ponty believed that the physical body to be an important part of what makes up the subject's self.
What is self? The concept of self is complex and multifaceted, and different philosophical and psychological traditions have offered various definitions and interpretation of what self actually is. At its most basic level, self can be understood as the subjective experience of being an individual, distinct from others, individuals, and objects in the world. It includes our thoughts, feelings, memories, and perceptions, as well as our physical body and our social and cultural identities. Self is ever-changing and dynamic, allowing external influences to take part in shaping. The self is capable of morphing and fitting itself into any circumstances it finds itself in. The self and culture. The self refers to individual sense of identity and personal characteristics. Culture refers to the shared beliefs. Itself, it is the most important rule to our life. And it's about how you experience about yourself in your daily life. And culture is to share your culture. As you come and understand more about yourself and your own culture, you will learn how to relate better to individuals from different culture.
Good day, sir. I am Richard Almirano and I am BSOA-1B. Today, I am going to discuss about pseudo-hermaphroditism. So what is pseudo-hermaphroditism? A term used to describe individuals who have external genitalia that do not match their chromosomal or gonadal sex. For example, intersex people are born with sex characteristics, including genitals and gonads and chromosome patterns, that do not fit typical binary notions of male and female bodies. Intersex is an umbrella term used to describe a wide range of natural bodily variations. So these are the two types of pseudo-hermaphroditism. The first one is the male pseudo-hermaphroditism. Individuals with male pseudo-hermaphroditism have XY chromosomes and testes, but their external genitalia may appear ambiguous or have female-like characteristics. This can be caused by various conditions such as androgen insensitivity syndrome or 5-alpha syntactase deficiency. Second one is the female pseudohermaphroditism. Individuals with female pseudohermaphroditism have XX chromosomes and ovaries, but their external genitalia may appear masculinized or have male-like characteristics. This can be caused by conditions such as a congenital adrenal hyperplasia. And now let's talk about the importance of pseudohermaphroditism. It's important to note that the term pseudohermaphroditism is also considered outdated, and the preferred term is intersex. Intersex individuals may have a variety experiences and variations, and it's important to approach discussions with respect and sensitivity. When referring to humans, the term hermaphrodite is no longer used in medical or scientific contexts. Instead, the term intersex is used to describe individuals who are born with variation in their reproductive or sexual anatomy that do not fit typically definitions of female and male. Intersex is a broad term that encompasses a range of conditions and variations. It's important to note that not all intersex individuals have both male and female reproductive organs. Each individual's experience and physical characteristics can vary greatly. It's always important to approach discussions about intersex individuals with respect and sensitivity, as it is a deeply personal and complex topic. Thank you.
Good day, sir. My name is Julia Marbrabat. I am BSOA-1B, and I'm going to discuss about the self in families. So, the concept of self in the context of families often refers to the individual's sense of identity, autonomy, and personal characteristics within the family unit. It compasses one's unique personality, values, and beliefs. Family dynamics and interactions significantly influence the development and expression of the self. The self in families is shaped through relationships, experiences, and the roles individuals play within the familial structure. It's an integral aspect of psychology and emotional well-being within the family context. So, these are the 5 types of gonads. First is ovaries, found in females producing eggs, ova and releasing hormones like estrogen and progesterone. The second is testes, present in males responsible for producing sperm and secreting testosterone. The third is ovipositors, in certain female insects used for laying eggs. The fourth is adrenal glands. Well, not solely gonads, they produce small amounts of sex hormones in addition to other functions. The last is intersex gonads. Some individuals may have ambiguous of or mixed gonadal tissues leading to the intersex conditions.
About the self, the 4 concept of self-schema: hobbies, families, nationality, religion, self. Concept of self-schema: family. While every child is born with a certain givenness disposition coming from his parents, genes and general condition, left the impact of one's family is still them as a given and understanding the self, the kind of family that we are born in, the resources available as a human, spiritual, economic, and the kind of development that we will have will certainly affect as we go through life. Human person learn the way of living and therefore their selfhood by a being in a family.
Gender in the Self. Understanding gender. Gender and the self refer to the complex relationship between an individual gender identity and their sense of self. Gender identity is a deeply held sense of being male, female, or something else, and it may or may not align with the sex assigned at the birth. Meanwhile, the self encompasses an individual beliefs, value experience, and perception of themselves. Gender identity is a deeply personality and subjective experience that develop over time. It is influenced by combination of biological, physiological, and cultural factors. Understanding gender and the self interact in a various ways for individuals whose gender identity elegance, which sociality expectation of worms, there may be a sense of cartoons and easy in the way they prevent themselves. However, for those who gender identity difference versus societal expectation, there may be a dissonance between the integral sense of self and the integral perfection of expectation exposed by society. Understanding and affirming one's gender identity is the ongoing process on the self-reflection, exploration, and self-assistance in the environment, acknowledging and embracing the complements of gender beyond society norms and expectation. It also required creating a supportive environment and respect validates the different gender identities and allow individuals and authentically experience themselves.